Hey guys, this is not the video I was planning on making this morning, but I think everything else kind of needs to be set aside for us to talk about this and discuss what's going on and kind of what I think we could be doing as a community to kind of fight back against this. Our girls have been very busy lately, and not just our girls, other locales and horror cows as well. Just in the last couple of days, there have been multiple reaction channels and recap channels that have been taken down. They're either completely gone or they are going through the process of trying to fight to keep their channels active. Um, and a lot of it is because our girls are irritated. They are angry that we are calling them out on their bad behavior. Foodie, especially, since she went live yesterday asking for money for fall content. And she did not get the reaction that she wanted. She blames reaction channels, and she's coming after those people. She doesn't realize it's her own audience that is refusing to give her money and calling her out for the behavior that she is displaying now. Um, Rosie has, is doing her things, even though she says she will not ever strike anybody. And then Amber has been going after some baby channels as well. So I wanted us to take a look at a couple of things, and let's honestly talk about what this is and how this looks for us as a community and how we might be able to kind of fight this. So we're going to start on over here with Miss Rosie first. She says she was celebrating yesterday. Let's see why she was celebrating.
You guys want to know what we're celebrating today? You guys want to know? Because, like I said, I was up early this morning. So I was already awake. We've got cheesecake to celebrate, so we'll be busting it out. Poetic Justice, your username is so apt for today. Okay, so some of this will be redundant for people who have been here for a while. So I'm going to have to re-explain for people who are new. But for like the entire duration I've been on YouTube, there's been a specific person who's been like lurking on the internet, who's done some really fucked up stuff to me, who has they sent stuff to my house because they like got my address somehow, I don't know. Has contacted my father, has gone in real life with me, who has like stalked my every move, has edited sensitive pictures of me and like reposted them, has dug into my past, has made up bizarre accusations and lies about me, so on, so on, so on, has used YouTube to harass me, incite me to myself, has like done so many horrible things. And like there are a lot of reaction channels that react to me that I do not like, that I would love if they just decided one day to stop doing YouTube because, like, I think they suck and they're not great people and they just make up shit and whatever. Like, yeah, that's fine. But this particular person has just been a menace in my life. And this morning, YouTube intervened and terminated their channel. The joy that I feel is immense. And
Okay, so let's talk about this particular channel that she's discussing. First of all, they did kind of go IRL. They sent alcohol to her house for Levi's birthday one year. They did contact her dad and was just trying to ask questions about how do you feel about your daughter's past, this kind of stuff. I think the thing that really hit me the most was she said, he dug into my past. That's an issue. He dug into my past. Well, here's the thing, and most of y'all, well, pretty much everybody doesn't know it. I've spent the last 3 weeks working on a deep dive on Rosie. Because everybody says that, we understand she's problematic, but we don't really understand the timeline. We don't understand everything that's gone on. It's hard to get it all together. I have sat and I have dug through all of that. I have written out the timelines. I have taken notes. Cannot tell you the amount of content I have watched. But some of the content that this particular channel had up was extremely helpful to me and were things that Rosie does not want to see the light of day. He had her Biggest Loser audition tape up there. He also had a replay of one of her Instagram lives that she did with two other creators. And in it, Rosie contradicted everything that she had said about her past in feederism, how she felt about it, and it was out there for people to find if they really wanted to find it. And she later goes on to say, well, I didn't do it, but I talked to somebody who had a big hand in this operation to take this person down. Well, we know Rosie doesn't get her hands dirty. We saw that when Shani was in her chat. She sends other people to do her dirty work. So this now has put me in the position I'm having to consider two different aspects here. First, do I still continue producing my documentary and start putting up my episodes, even though the information and video clips that I have ready to go are from a channel that she has already taken down? The channel also had less subscribers than her. I I don't know what to do. And I'm sure there's other reaction channels feeling the same way. And this is where we are going to talk about Amber for a minute. I am also having to deal with waiting for my channel to be struck in some way or to have some complaint made, because Amber is saying that I was working with Aunt Tammy to help dox her. I wasn't. Aunt Tammy didn't know I existed until I put my Oklahoma City video up. And I'm a girl that lives in Oklahoma City that's irritated by how she represents my city and my state to the world. That's all it is. But she's made a big enough deal about it that channels like The Ankle, who have a whole lot more reach than I have and probably will ever have been discussing my video and been talking about me. Why is me doing a tour of my city such a threat to you? So I want to go over here and we're going to look at a community tab post. Jawbone shared it on his page, and it was originally a post from Studio Deets. So we're going to look over here at this. And Jawbone says Amber is using the privacy strike system to go after Studio Deets and other small creators who are discussing her past behavior. So fire up your torches and grab your harpoons. Go over there and show your support. She's abusing the system and something has to be done or needs to be done. Studio Deets had posted, and this was what Jawbone was sharing, and the privacy complaints continue. I guess someone saw my last post regarding the lazy timestamps because all of a sudden more specific ones are coming in. And if that someone sees this post, you should know that literally every piece of information I've discussed has been previously posted for public consumption. In fact, it's still up. And I have screen recordings, links, and timestamps at the ready. So deleting them now won't make a difference. Gorls, get your pitchforks. So here is, if you guys haven't watched Jawbone, their content is hilarious. They do great work on how amazing Salah is. And Studio Deets does these amazing deep dives and puts it all together so that it makes sense. And it's really kind of thought-provoking stuff that Studio Deets puts together. But one of the things that I want to talk about here is that both of these channels, Jawbone and Studio Deets, they have they don't have anywhere near the subscriber level that Foodie or Amber has. And our girls are literally throwing their weight around. Take that however you want to take it. And they are bullying smaller channels to keep people from holding them accountable and saying this is not okay, this is not acceptable. Amber really thought that she would come online with some very heinous and large accusations against her aunt, and that everybody would immediately side with her. And that's not the case. Instead, we demanded proof. Everybody said, "You are a known liar. Give us proof." She couldn't, and she got irritated. She then made the horrible joke that she made, that came across as very transphobic, even though she claims it wasn't. Intent doesn't change how it was perceived. And also said some things that completely negated everything that she had previously said about Casey. So people are going through on her information, and finding those clips dealing with Casey, and they are discussing what really happened and where Amber has lied and contradicted herself. Because at the end of the day, people just want the truth. Well, Amber is going after those channels. When Studio Deet says, the privacy complaint timestamp, the very first complaint that they got said that the privacy was infringed from 0 seconds to 53 minutes. Well, in that particular video, Studio Deets mentioned multiple different people, and it was people who had chosen to be on Amber's channel. They have chosen to interact with reaction channels. But even with that blanket of a complaint, Studio Deets is having to deal with this. And I think one of the things that makes this really hard, and I don't know if everybody understands this or not, once you get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you get a YouTube manager. You physically have a human to reach out to and say, I am having this issue. This is what I am dealing with, and you have a human to advocate for you or to help walk you through those processes. Until you hit that point, you are dealing with an automated system. Those automated systems, even though you can have the best appeal and you can have proof, they do not always get it right. I have seen multiple other smaller channels in the past couple of days saying that they have been copyright struck or hit with privacy issues, and they appeal it. I have read their appeals, and they should have won their appeals, and they didn't because it's just an automated system. I honestly think Jawbone is correct. I think this is how we fight this, guys. I think as a community, we need to go and sub to every other reaction channel out there. I am subscribed to a lot of channels that I don't watch regularly. I don't consume their content on a regular basis. Some of them I subscribe to because I just want to be able to go back at a later date and find their content again. I think as a community, as a whole, we should be going and subscribing to every reaction channel that covers Amber or Foodie especially. And we should be getting everybody to 100,000 so that everybody has a YouTube manager, so that we are standing on even ground. Because it can be done. I think the only people at this point who really have a foot to stand on when it comes to being able to kind of fight back up against Amber would probably be Snowflake or Jordy. Jordy is so close to getting 100,000. But really, can we expect those two to fight all of our battles? I mean, even Alex is Shook posted a live, I believe it was last night. And he said, we are discussing, what, this video will probably be removed. Even people who have been around as long as Alex and who take this job very seriously and who are professionals know that they're probably going to get struck for telling the truth and being honest. And I think that's absolutely horrible that this system is being able to be weaponized to bully and silence smaller creators. Amber wants to scream, I'm being silenced. I'm always silenced. I'm sorry, honey. I would do anything to have 6,000 people show up in a live stream to listen to my point of view. Whether they agree with me or not, I would give anything for that. Will I have that? No. My first live stream, I'm going to be lucky if I have more than just my husband show up. I don't have 10,000 people show up to watch my videos to hear my point of view. You are not being silenced. We are being silenced. The reaction channels are being silenced. And the scarier thing is, a lot of reaction channels have a buffer. You know, you have to go to the state that the person resides in, and you have to file your lawsuit against them. You have to file your complaint against them. And when you're copyright struck, you have to give that other creator your personal information. A lot of people have a buffer. I don't. I live in the same area as Amber. Like, we really need to be protecting our reaction channels, and we do that through subscribers. And I'm not saying that for myself. I am saying it for amazing creators like Studio Deets and Jawbone and Hecticana and people who are so much better at this than me. So we're going to look at one last thing, and then I'm going to let you guys go. This morning, Gorlick posted a video, and I want us to take a peek at this and see what he has to say, because Gorlick is also somebody that has been around a long time, and he kind of knows how this all works. And so I want to listen to what he has to say, and then we'll go from there, guys. Okay, take it away, Gorlick.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. This is a video I should not be making, but here we are. Chantal has struck no, I don't think so 6 times. This is not the first time that Chantal has had an issue with that channel. I think so much of this is because, number one, Chantal's channel is not making the income she believes that it should. She also has continually stated that she feels reaction channels are the reason her channel does not make the income that it should. And she has this very skewed perception, as do some of her followers, as do the Failed Reactors Guild, that if channels get removed or if channels lose monetization, that it will somehow funnel all of the views over to them. And I've never understood this. If you were a failure today, removing another person that's successful will not stop you from continuing to be a failure.
And here's the thing. Let's talk about why Foodie is irritated. Yesterday, I promise I am going to cover this later today, but I really thought this was important to get out before I covered anything else. Yesterday, Foodie did a live stream saying, I am raising money for fall content. And she did 2 live streams to do this. The first one was 3 minutes long. 2.5 minutes of it was silence and buffering, and then it ended. And people in her chat, her own supporters, were saying, this is ridiculous. Your content is unwatchable. I cannot do this anymore. I will be moving to reaction channels. At least they make this bearable to sit through. She then started up a second live stream and kept defending herself on why she is asking for donations and why people must support her content so she can live the life that she wants, so she can then show that life to her YouTube audience. And her own supporters in the chat were saying, why? You give us no content. Great. You want us to pay for you to sit in a hotel room. You are wanting us to pay for you to eat and have air conditioning. She's looking at this and saying, well, they only think this because this is what reaction channels say. They are only doing this because the reaction channels. She doesn't realize that ever since Kuwait, ever since the end of Kuwait, and people saw how she was and how she has behaved, bragging about being an international fugitive, the way she has handled herself when it comes to people asking her about her religion, how she handled the exploitation of a child and what she did with that money. People are seeing her for who she is, but she is blaming the reaction channels and she is taking it out on the reaction channels.
I know that's a tough lesson for some of you to learn, but I am glad that I'm helping you learn it by continuing to make content while your channel largely remains the same. I also believe, though, at the core of this, Chantal is frustrated with her current situation. And she knows that there are people willing to call out her coming online and using her platform to solicit donations from her viewers. This happened with feeding kittens. This happened with Sasa. It is now happening with a vacation fund. This is also one of the most cowardly things you can do on this platform. You are not the one that defines fair use as much as you would like to be. You are simply going after smaller channels in what is truly an attempt to bully them off the platform because you don't like your content being reused, repurposed to show an alternate side of your agenda. You would also think that this incredible life where you're constantly unbothered and you have your husband and your cats and you're in Syria, none of this would even be on your radar. None of these miserable people, none of these hate filled people that you love to proclaim, that you never watch, that you never see, that you're never aware of, should even get to the point where you're spending your day filling out forms in the hopes that you will remove their channels. The audacity of that is quite high. But, as I said, the great part of this is no matter what happens to any channel on this platform, Chantal, it will never get you to the point of success you wish to be. People are watching reaction channels, people are watching clip channels because they have found the way to make your content entertaining or less boring. In some cases, you could say now they're making the content watchable as you yourself understand the internet quality in Syria is so low that it prohibits you from filming a live stream that does not constantly buffer or drop. So, what I would recommend you do as a viewer is understand that this is a channel going after other channels, trying to prevent you from watching what you would like to watch. This is also only the start of the raging. This time it's being done behind the scenes, but sooner or later, it will come to light. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching it. Apologize to any channel going through something like this, and I would personally recommend that all this does to each and every one of you impacted by this type of response is to make more and more content. Love to know your thoughts on this. Top comments from the last video. Appreciate.
Guys, I know Gorlick only put that up an hour ago, so like I really don't want to step on his toes using it, but I also thought that it was really important to hear it come from Gorlick's mouth because if you do not know, Gorlick had strikes against him about a month ago, a few weeks ago. They have demonetized his content. He is out here making this content for free at this point. He has 20,000 subscribers. Chantal has over 100. And so, again, it is a smaller channel fighting a bigger channel. He is having to continue to produce content for free at the rate that his subscribers are used to, so that he can still meet the criteria he needs to meet to reapply for monetization when he is allowed to do so. This is This is what is happening. This is what our girls are doing. And this is part of why our girls behave the way that they behave. Not only are they generally surrounded by yes men, but YouTube allows their behavior to continue and rewards their behavior by removing channels and by demonetizing channels. So, what I honestly think we need to do as a community, I would say, go and find the channels that are covering these topics of Amber and Foodie, especially. Subscribe to them, like their videos. You don't even really have, like, if you want to watch, watch. If you don't, don't. My goal here would be to get everybody to where we all have YouTube managers so that we all are on equal footing with them. It gives everybody a chance to fight fair. But really, go and support the people who are calling out the bad behavior. Comment on their post and saying, hey, we're cheering you on, hey, whatever. um because I especially think that Amber and Foodie need to see that this behavior is not acceptable, and the only way to do that is if we are actively supporting the channels that they are trying to bully. It's the best thing I got, and I think Jawbone was correct when he said, pretty much we ride at dawn. Like, we need to be supporting the people that are fighting this bad behavior. Um, so like I said, I will see you guys later. I plan on being back with a couple more reactions today, as long as I'm allowed to do reactions. Because like I said, Amber's kind of got her sights on me at the moment. So until then, I'm going to tell you guys to go fight the good fight, like, comment, subscribe to the people that are putting this content out. Be good, behave yourselves. Do not act like this. Do not throw tantrums like a 3-year-old in the middle of the grocery store. However, if you can't be good and behave yourselves, at least make me proud and do it big and do it right, and then post it online so we can talk about it later. Bye, guys.